Hey everyone, DarkDragoon here with Season 2, Episode 6 of my FTB Modpack Let's Play. So we got a lot of stuff planned to get done today, so I'm going to go ahead and jump right in right now. First of all, I've already got myself one book, but I need to make myself another one. So we're going to get 2 books. You can see I've also got myself a little bit of a lectern here, and I'll show you guys the recipe for that. There you go. Just pretty much like some wooden stairs with a stick right here. Pretty simple. These are really cool. I've already slapped one of them down right here because I'm going to make use of this. And then I'm going to take one of our books, go ahead and put it into our crafting block, and get ourselves a linking book to the overworld. This is Mistcraft, of course. Figured since we ended last episode with some Mistcraft explanation, we'll start this episode with some use of it. So that done, my next plan is that I'm going to need to grab myself a good amount of these building materials, probably all of this, because I'm not exactly sure how much I'm going to need. But I'm also going to need a little bit of glass, just because I like to be able to see through stuff. That is in our building materials. I don't really have much glass. Okay, well, trying to think if we even have any sand lying around. Let's do this. This will probably gum up at some point, but if you guys didn't know, I just realized that we didn't set this up properly. There we go. If you guys didn't know, you can pulverize cobblestone into sand, and sometimes you'll get some gravel. So I'm just going to let that go, and that should probably clog up our powered... No, that'll go ahead and make us glass, which is what we want. Cool. And that'll just go while we head over to the Nether and find ourselves a good spot to set up. So why don't I clip the video, and I'll see you guys in the Nether when I found something, like I found a good spot to get to work at. I'll be back. Alright, I am back, and as you guys can see, we've got ourselves a fine little cobblestone safety house here in the Nether. You can see we've got very fine views and gas all around us at all times. You can see our overworld portal is just over there, and we're actually attached here to a nether fortress because I saw this thing in the distance and I was like, that could be cool. So first things first, so that we don't have to make the long trek across very dangerous areas that are pretty much swarming with gas. We're going to slap our Zycraft block down here just because it looks cool. And we're going to put our lectern on there. Now that that's done, we can actually take our linking book, and if we hold it and right click on the lectern, bam. It's now sitting on the lectern and we can use it from here. Now, that done, we're going to make another linking book. But this one, whereas the other one led to the overworld, is going to lead us to the Nether. So this way we can just instantly, we're going to put this linking book back in the overworld here in just a second. Hopefully by the time we get there our glass will be done so we can finish this up and we can move toward getting things done. So basically what we're going to do is we're going to set up a pump to get some lava out of this infinite lava down there. And we're going to basically set up a system so that we can take that lava and get it home and hopefully feed some buildcraft power and probably even some industrial craft power later down the line. So let's just hop back here into the overworld, get our book down onto our lectern so we can transfer back there easily. I'm going to put some stuff away here. You can definitely see I did manage to get into quite a few fights in there. It was quite dangerous, if I do say so myself. Okay, so what are we going to need here? We're going to need to get ourselves a couple things. So I'm just going to run in here and get ourselves probably a stack of iron. There's some glass. We have some basalt cooking up at some point. I'm going to pull the gravel out of there. And actually I'm going to go ahead and pulverize up the gravel, and that'll pulverize into flint. Just because you might as well, right? So we're going to be making ourselves a pump. Let's take a look at that. There's a couple different kinds of pumps, but I'm pretty sure the one we're looking for is this one. Yeah, this looks... no, this one. Yeah, this is the one I'm thinking of. The other one's the industrial craft pump. Pretty easy to make. It's just some iron, pretty much a lot of iron, and some redstone. And then we're going to take some glass and make a tank. So we're also going to need, like I said, a little bit of redstone. There we go. And we're going to need wood, so I might as well grab that as well. I might as well grab those, just in case. Oh, there was our sand. I'm just going to go ahead and... so we definitely need a little bit of glass at the moment, so I might as well keep running it while we're busy doing other stuff. So, I'm going to need a little more wood than this. There we go. Alright, so the first thing we're going to do is we go ahead and make our tank. That's pretty simple. Boom. And then we're going to need a pickaxe. Okay. And we're also going to need an iron gear, which means we're going to need stone gear. So I need to grab a little bit of cobblestone. I cannot believe we're almost out of those. So there we go, wooden gear to stone gear to iron gear. Okay, so you can see the recipe again here, and there's a little bit of a bug with the project table right now, but I think I can figure it out. There we go. And then if we put that in there with our tank, we get a pump. Now, to power this, we're also going to need some engines, and we should be good with a couple redstone engines. So let's take a look at that. We're going to need some pistons, which is pretty simple to make. We've made those plenty of times. But I think what we're going to do is, I want to say that we have some indigo flowers in here. Now this is really cool use for the project table, particularly now. This is new to the most recent version of red power. Basically we took our flowers and made some indigo dye, and if we combine that with paper, we get ourselves a blank plan. Now these are really cool. I'm going to go ahead and make another one, just use up our indigo dye. So if we take one of these blank plans, you've seen me use the project table, and you can see how lots of stuff gets, you can save a recipe in here, and it'll make whatever you want to make using the inventory down here. Well, if we go ahead and put our plan here, you can see a new symbol shows up, a little quill. We're going to finish making our piston plan. As you can see, as soon as I finished a recipe that is something that can be made, i.e. a piston, this symbol comes back. So if we just leave this here and hit our little symbol, we now get a piston plan. So the point to this is that it makes crafting things like pistons, which we usually craft a lot of, very, very simple. So if we take our plan and put it in there, you can see a bunch of ghost blocks appear. So long as we've got the resources down here, we can just keep making pistons. So now we don't have to click a whole bunch of times and set up our recipe to make ourselves a piston, because we're going to make lots of them. So if I'm going to need 4, so excellent, just enough. We are going to need a little bit more. Actually, interestingly enough, I think it'll be also useful to make ourselves a plan for our redstone engines, because we make a lot of those anyway. So let's see here. Unless I'm mistaken, we're also going to need wooden gears. Quite a few of those, in fact. 2, 3, 4, because each of them we're going to need 8. Okay. There we go. Let's see. So glass and wood. So this should be pretty simple. Let's just do this just for ease. Piece of glass and some wood. There we go. And like I said, I'm going to make a plan out of that. So if I take all this stuff out, it'll pop down here in the inventory, and you can see now we can make our redstone engines. We're going to need 4 of those. Okay, so all of that done. I'm also going to take our glass with us because we're definitely going to need that. Think that's everything. So let's go ahead, grab ourselves some of the other things we need, and I will meet you guys back in the Nether to start getting this system set up. I'll be back. Alright, I'm back, and as you can see, we're not in the Nether, but I decided to go ahead and get together some of the materials for a little bit more than just our pump. That way we can sort of get things moving right along. I've already gone ahead and made a couple of these tin gears, so you guys can see the recipe here. It's pretty simple, it's just a stone gear with some tin around it. Because we're going to be making ourselves a magmatic engine. I also went ahead and made myself a piston. So we're going to need a transmission coil, which is pretty much done like our golden coils, but with silver instead. There we go. And then we just need tin, so I think we have everything now. Made pretty much just like your fairly standard engine, if I can just find my tin. We're just going to need one of these for now, but I think we're going to make quite a few more in the future. Last item we're going to need is, let me go ahead and make a bucket, because we need a bucket for this. And we also need to make ourselves one of these machine frames, because we're going to be making ourselves a machine from thermal expansion. And so we're also going to need a reception coil. And the machine we're making is going to be a liquid transposer. Now, you can see the recipe here. It's pretty simple. The cool thing about this thing is that this will let us move liquid. Basically, it'll hold liquid in a buffer in its inventory, and we can then move that liquid into a can, and so that we can transfer it a little easier. So I'm just going to put this together, and I'll show you how it works when we get to the Nether. I think that's everything we're going to need. There's one other item to make this whole system work, but we don't really have what we need for it. We need a couple ender eyes and some blaze rods, and we don't have those yet, so I'll deal with those later. So I think we got ourselves some pipes. I think we've got pretty much everything we're going to need. I might as well grab a lever. Those things never hurt. And yeah, I think we're good to go. So let's pop back into the Nether here. Brought glass so that we can finish up protecting ourselves from terrifying creatures such as gas. Trying to get this on here as quickly as possible so that they don't decide to sneak up on me. Come on. Every time I go to the Nether, until I feel I have boxed myself in, I'm absolutely terrified of everything around me. The Nether's a scary place. If you don't think so, you don't have a good enough fear response. Alright, so here we go. Let's go ahead and dig ourselves down into the ground. Be careful not to fall, because that would be not exactly healthy for us. Go ahead and put glass at the corners so that we can see what we're doing. I think we can also just go ahead and put glass here. We definitely need to have the center block open to us. So I'm just going to take our pump and I'm going to put it right over the hole we made. Boom, right there. Yeah, I like it there. Alright, so basically what this thing is going to do, you can see the little pump arm will descend down into the lava, and basically what it'll do is it'll just start pumping up lava from the nigh on infinite supply we have here in the Nether. By the way, this design I'm going to be doing, you guys, if you're fans of Direwolf20, might recognize it. It's his design, so I will definitely not take credit for it, but I definitely think it's a very efficient and useful design, so that's the one I decided to go with. I forgot to bring some redstone torches, but basically you guys will be able to see the gist of how this works is that these redstone engines are going to power our pump, and then this will dump lava out of it. So, that done, I definitely need some redstone torches, but we can go ahead and put some of this together. trying to decide if I want to, how far out we want to go with this. I think if we put it right here, with our transposer right here, and our engine right behind it, because we definitely need Buildcraft power to power our engine. And if we just grab another pipe, put it there, the pump will supply both our transposer, which we're going to be using to get items back to the overworld, and giving lava to our magmatic engine, which is what that needs to run. So, I think I'm just going to put the lever here for now, that way we can test it once we get some lava moving. Let me pop over into the overworld, grab a couple redstone torches, and when I come back I'll show you guys how this thing gets going and how it works. So I'll be back. Alright, here we are back in the Nether. I've gotten together the things that we need. I also made myself a chest so that I can show you guys how the system is going to work in theory. Mostly because, obviously, we, like I said, don't have the materials to make ourselves the last bit of this, so I just made a chest to fill in for its spot until then. Trying to decide how best to provide a redstone signal to this top engine. I think it's going to be a block there. Should do it. Okay. So that's going to take a little while to actually start pumping, but you can definitely see it looks like it's already started getting a little bit of lava in here. You can see it's starting to fill up over here, and it's filling up our engine as well. And there it goes. Yeah, cool. So basically the way this thing works is you need to supply it some kind of can. And I went ahead and cooked up some aluminum. You probably, if you're playing along, probably have gotten a lot of this stuff and you haven't really seen me do much with it. You can't pulverize it, but you can just cook it up in your powered furnace or any kind of furnace to get yourself some aluminum. And when you combine them like so, you can make yourself some aluminum cans. Now these are what we're going to use to transport our lava. So if we put our aluminum cans right here in the input on the liquid transposer, we'll be able to take the lava that's here in the buffer and then put it into a can, and then it'll output on the red slot. Now if I were to flip this around, you can also with a liquid transposer take full lava cans here, it'll run and dump the lava in here, and then you can output the lava from a yellow slot side. So, and then of course it'll put your empty cans here in the red and you can output those. So we are going to want to put lava into the cans, as that's definitely what we want to do. And there will be some automation with this once we get the whole thing actually put together, but for now all I really want to do is show you guys sort of how it works and why it's so useful. Now like I said, we can output the cans from a side. In this case they're going to be full lava cans outputting on red, which is right here on the side. Simple enough. And I think one should be enough. And we're just going to put our regular chest down here for now. Later on, once I grab some blaze rods, which, gassed, hopefully I can pick up some from nearby. We are near a nether fortress, so it's very likely we might be able to find some blazes relatively close. Once I get some of those blaze rods, we'll be able to convert this into an ender chest and be able to transport this stuff interdimensionally back to our base. So let's go ahead and flip the switch so you guys can see the magmatic engine starts pumping. Now, with just a switch on the magmatic engine, this isn't very efficient, as eventually this engine will, if it just keeps running like this, it'll overheat and it'll stop running, and the only way to get it started again is we're going to have to come whack it with a wrench. I do actually have a solution to this, and I'm going to leave that as a little bit of a surprise for later. So you can see the machine is running here. It's pouring lava into a can. And simply enough, I'm just going to pop down here into the inventory, and in about a second, it should come out. Should be coming out. Okay, yeah. Apparently it's coming out so quickly, it's decided not to show us. Wow, that's interesting. But yes, you can see our chest over here is rapidly filling up with lava cans. Now I could have just put this chest right next to here, I guess. I'm trying to think if I really want to do that. Think so, because we're going to want room to automate this down the line. So I'm just going to leave it like that for now. So, that done. We're about halfway finished with our plan here. So why don't I clip the video, go hunt for some blaze rods, and maybe we can finish this off before the end of the episode. So hopefully this won't take too long. So I'll be back. Alright, we are back in the overworld, and you guys can see I managed to pick up a couple blaze rods, 10. And what I want to do is I want to show you guys a neat little trick that we can do with our blaze rods. It's kind of circuitous and a little tricksy, but it's kind of cool. So if we take our blaze rods and toss them into a pulverizer, they'll grind up and turn into 4 blaze powder for every single blaze rod we found, instead of if we were just to put this into a crafting block, we'd get 2 blaze rods for every one. So at this point we've doubled our blaze powder output. Now you might be wondering, well, didn't you need those blaze rods? Well, no, not really, because we're going to do something a little fun with our minium stone. So if we take our minium stone and 2 blaze powder, we get a blaze rod. See the trick now? We've now pretty much doubled our blaze rod out, the number of blaze rods we got for just the little bit of damage off the minium stone. I think it takes damage, because if it doesn't, I think I might have just found a kind of cheat, because now we can grind up those 20. That's... We also get a little bit of sulfur from grinding that stuff up, which you can see can be used with niter and charcoal and a couple other things to make sulfur and fun stuff like that. I'm a little worried about this. If our minium stone isn't taking damage, this is a little bit ridiculous if that's the case. Let's see, we got 16 and a stack, and a good amount of sulfur, I guess. Alright, let's check this out now. Okay, yeah, the minium stone is in fact taking damage from doing this, so on the plus side, we now have 40 blaze rods from where we started off with 10. And yeah, that was not a whole lot of sacrifice either, considering the fact we just lost a little bit of damage off the minium stone. Let's put away our shards of minium here. So, while we're at it, if you recall, the item I'm wanting to make here is an ender chest, and we're going to need a couple ender pearls for that. Well, we haven't really found very many endermen, but again, we can use our minium stone to help us out a little bit here. So we're going to need 2 of these eyes total, so let's just do that. Grab our minium stone. Again, it's going to take a little bit of damage, but there we go, a couple ender pearls. So, now that's done, I think we're good to go. I don't know if we have the obsidian, however. So, what I'm probably going to have to do is... Actually, there was a little bit of... I know exactly where to go to find some. So let me go get some obsidian, and when I come back, we'll get these ender chests put together, and hopefully we'll be able to get this system finished. So, I'll be back in a minute. Alright, so I'm back. You can see I've gotten myself quite a few bits and bobs here and there. Mostly because now that we have everything that we need to finish up our system, at least finish up it in as far as getting the stuff back to the overworld. It's not going to be quite done as soon as we get that part, but it's going to be pretty close. Why don't I go ahead and toss together... Oh, I needed a couple chests. Find our wood again. Keep forgetting where I keep stashing it. Thought I had left it in the crafting table. Did I just... Yeah, there we go. I just missed it because I'm blind, apparently. So we're just going to make ourselves a couple chests, as here's our ender chest recipe. It's pretty simple. Something along these lines, unless I'm forgetting something I literally just looked at. There we go, ender chest. And we're going to want 2 of them, because we're going to want one on this side and one on the other. I'm also going to grab probably some buttercups. I'm just going to turn 6 of them into some orange dye, because orange seems like a good color to represent lava. Other than that, there's one other thing that I want to go ahead and make, which is another liquid transposer machine. I don't remember where we put our glass. I think it's in here. Pretty simple. Maybe not. Where did we put our glass? Could have sworn we didn't use it all. Let me figure out where I put the glass and I'll be back. Alright, I found the glass. Some of you were probably screaming at your YouTube video, just saying it's in the chest in the nether. It was, in fact, in the chest in the nether. So, now that we have our glass, like I said, we're going to make ourselves a couple more of these liquid transposers. So, to do that, we're going to need basically a couple of these again. One of these, in fact. I'm also going to need to grab some copper. Once again, 2 of them. And should have everything we need to do this. Our little handy pocket crafting tables coming in handy. So it should be something like this. And bucket on top. Liquid transposer. Cool. So, I think, I'm trying to kind of look at this a second to decide exactly where I want to put this. I think what we're going to do, I'm just going to throw some wool down so I can get sort of a visual measurement on how I want this to be set up. As I think it's going to be something like this. Basically what we're going to have is we're going to have a big tank set up right here. And so I believe it should work something like this. We're going to have our ender chest here, and we're going to have our, actually we can probably move this over one maybe. I'm trying to think while I'm looking at it. Is not exactly the ideal way of going about this, but let's just go ahead and put our thing here. And we're gonna take our dye, and the cool thing about these ender chests is they link to the other ender chests that have the same color combination on the top. So if I were to put down this second ender chest here, they're both white, 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 so put the orange dye in, you can see both chests have access to this one inventory. And if I go ahead and color code 1, 2, 3, then you can see that this ender chest will have nothing in it when I put redstone in there. No redstone. So very, very nice little tool. So the other thing we're going to do is we're going to pick up this ender chest, and this is what's going to go into the nether. So I'm going to take that redstone out of there. Once we get this set up on the other side, you guys should be able to see exactly how this thing is going to go. Now, this liquid transposer, we don't want to be putting, we don't want to be putting lava into cans, so we're going to switch the mode so that full lava cans are going to come into this thing, and it's going to dump its lava out into its little buffer inventory, and then we're going to move that out of the transposer eventually into a tank. So, very, very cool. So yeah, let me try to decide exactly. Let me check to see how much time we have left and figure out if we have time to move on past getting it set up in the Nether. So I'll be back. Alright, so I'm back, and unfortunately it looks like we're about at the point where we need to call this episode, but I definitely want to go ahead and get our ender chest set up here, and then next episode we can work on getting a nice big railcraft tank set up to supply, basically to put all our lava into. So ender chest goes down, simply boom. So now, as this creates more lava containers, it'll move the lava into the cans back to the overworld, where they will go into our other liquid transposer to be dumped off and let go of the lava into our system. And the cool thing about this is on the other side it should maintain our supply of cans. So next time, not only can we get ourselves a nice big railcraft tank going, but I'm going to get into some red power stuff so that we can automatically get our, in the case of the other side, get our basically get our empty cans back here into the ender chest, and then have a system set up in here that can pull out the empty cans and send them back into our transposers. It's going to be really, really useful and fully automated, so we're not going to really have to worry about it at all, and it's going to be pretty nice. So that said, like I said, this is where we're going to have to call this episode. This has been episode 6 of my FTB Modpack Let's Play. Hope you guys are enjoying watching, and look forward to next episode. So until then, catch you guys later.